Welcome back to my art studio. Our last video that you saw, we did a ribbon and we colored it in with values of lights and darks using a pencil. On this one, we're going to be using watercolor, and we're going to be making an overlapping ribbon. You can see that I've already drawn a ribbon where I have my lines, and I drew my bottom lines and connected it. I've added a ribbon here. Now I'm going to add one more ribbon to put this whole picture together. And this ribbon is going to go over this piece, and it's going to go under, back over here. So I've got a line, and now that I have that line, I need to connect my lines together. So I'm going to bring another line that's going to go over. It's going under this one, it's going over this one, and again it's connecting. And now I have some places that where it's gone over that I can erase. That's the reason why when you draw, you usually draw real lightly, so that if you need to, you can erase. So I'm going to erase this one where it's going over, and I'm going to erase over here where it's also going on top. So the one that's on top is showing and not the one that's underneath. So now I have 3 ribbons, and I'm going to paint them, making lights and darks. Just like we did with our values, we started with some of the darker spots first. So on this ribbon, I'm going to start here in the back like I did with my other ribbon with a dark value. And I'm going to paint it first. So I'm going to get some water, and I think I'm going to make this ribbon blue. So I'm going to get some blue in my water, and I'm going to come over here and paint this one in this space right here. And now that I've painted this space blue, I can come back and add a little bit more color, and add some more dark in here, put some more color on top of that wet area. I'm not going to paint here because I don't want a wet area next to another wet area. So I'm going to skip over here where this blue is going to be underneath this ribbon, so it's going to be darker again. This is going to be another dark spot. And I'm going to paint this spot in with my blue. And I'm also going to paint on this side with my blue. Add a little bit more water to my brush. Get a little bit more paint. And I'm going to let it get lighter. So as I'm getting lighter, I'm using up my paint that was on my brush. And I'm getting some with just water now. And I'm letting the water make that blue lighter. So now I have a light area, and I'm getting a medium area here. And over here is going to be even darker, so again, I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it. Add another coat of blue to make it even darker. So just like I did with my pencil, I'm getting lights, mediums, and darks. Okay, I'm going to have to wait here because, again, it has to dry. So I can come over here to this spot, and I can add paint here. And again, I did not add more paint to my brush because I wanted it to be kind of a lighter shade of blue. So now you can start seeing where I got some lights, some mediums, and some darks. While my ribbon is drying, that where I have already painted with the blue, I'm going to go ahead and do this ribbon over here that's not touching anything with a different color. And I'm going to try on this one to do some red. And I'm going to go inside where I want it to be darker. Add some more color there. Skip this space. Then I'm going to come over here and paint this spot in. And I'm going to paint this spot in. Now, this is going to have a shadow from this ribbon, and this is going to have a shadow over here. So I really need that to be darker. So I'm going to get some more paint on my brush and make that a little bit darker over here. A little bit darker over here. And of course, a little bit darker over here. I'm going to blend that a little bit. I can also take my brush and lift a little bit of that color off where I want the light to maybe be hitting it a little bit. Make it a little bit lighter and bringing that dark over to the other side. And since I still got paint on my brush and I don't want it too terribly dark, I'm going to just go ahead and use that space to paint that part in also. Now we have one more ribbon that we're going to need another color for, and since we have blue and we have red, if we were to combine those two colors, we would end up with purple. So I'm going to do this other one with a purple. And once again, I'm looking for where is it going to be the darkest. It's going to be the darkest down in here. And then it's going to get lighter, so I'm going to let the water lighten it up. And I need some more dark in this area down here. We're going to skip this space, and we're going to go back over to this other side. And again, this is on top, so this is going to be a lighter purple. And it's going to get darker down toward the bottom where it's going to cast some shadows. Now this part over here is dry, so that means I can paint this part of the ribbon. That's part of the red ribbon. So I'm going to take my red, and I'm going to take a lot of water on this part, because this is on the outside where the light's hitting it. I'm going to make it a lighter color. And it looks like everything else is touching something that's wet, so we're going to have to wait until it dries. Now that our spots have dried, our next step is going to go back and to finish up the colors of our ribbon. And again, here we have a darker spot because it is behind. So I'm going to make that even a darker purple. Add a little bit of dark in there. Now, this other part of this purple ribbon is going to be lighter. So it's just going to have a little bit of water and a little bit of paint. Okay, now we're going to go back to the darks in our blue. And it's going to be a little darker underneath here. And a little bit darker over here. So we're going to have more paint and less water. in that spot. Then we're going to move it out. Over here is going to be more water and less paint, because that's going to be lighter. And one more spot down here in the back. And again, we're going to have some dark in this part behind. So it's more paint and less water. And then we're going to get lighter and get more water on this end and less paint. So as you are looking at your picture, you should have lights and dark areas, darker where it's behind or where there's a shadow, lighter where the light is hitting it. Those are values. To add cast shadows, we're just using our dirty water and painting where the ribbon would be casting a shadow onto the surface of the object, is around those rounded edges.